So here we have the all-new 2025 GMC Yukon. This one comes in the Denali trim level in onyx black, and then we have jet black leather interior. For the powertrain, we get a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. That's made it to the 10-speed automatic transmission. So a lot of cool updates here. First and foremost being this new front fascia. We get the LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights, LED fog lamps. And I just love how it kind of follows the Acadia styling, just with the big grille and the design of the headlamps there. Very impressed overall with just how this looks. When they first started showing pictures, I wasn't sure about it, but loving it up close and in person here. Of course, we get 22-inch aluminum wheels. Passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. Power running boards are there. And then to the door panel, we still get that wood grain trim. Power door locks, memory seat functions, one-touch automatic up and down windows for the front, express down for the back. Power mirror controls are there. We can fold those in and out. Blind spot monitors are there. Bose sound system, of course. And then over here we have our drive modes, 4-wheel drive we can go through. We don't have the full 4-wheel drive here, just the high, and then we have the 2-wheel there. And we can kind of toggle between that. Headlamp controls are here, and then we do get automatic park assist, auto stop, lane keeping, 360 camera, etc. Hood release is there. Of course, we get a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Side pockets on both sides up front. And then here's our power driver's seat. We do get 4-way power lumbar support here. So a lot of this stuff carried over from the outgoing model, but the thing about the Yukon is there were so many updates throughout the lifespan of the 21 model year till 2024. So it really wasn't much to be done here other than the styling of the inside and outside. Conventional trailer, 7,500 pounds if you ever want to tow there. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. Big thank you to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Yukon today. I'll leave a link below in the description. And if you're looking to get the best price on one of these closer to your area, just click on that second link down below. It takes a minute to fill out that information, and I'll make sure your local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on one of these brand new 2025 Yukon Denalis. So dimensions interior wise are still very good. Make sure the seat's all the way back here. So it is, and my knees are just barely brushing the back of the seat there. Seat back pockets are on both sides. Now this is a pretty early spec here, so we don't have the rear media system here. It's missing a few options, but not much. You can see we still have the power panoramic sunroof there, and that's with the sunshade all the way up. Over here we have our rear AC controls. We can adjust temperature, fan speed, fan direction, set that auto mode on and off, and then just turn it all the way down to cut the system off. And then 3-stage heated outboard seats, 2 USB-C charge ports, and then a 120-volt 3-prong household plug-in there. Bottle holders for the back, and we'll get back to the front there, but there is that new infotainment system, steering wheel, gauge cluster, and all of that. And there's the third row. I'm gonna show you all the space sitting behind myself. Now, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to sit all the way behind myself, but I'll just kind of show you so you can see. So I can fit back here. It's not terrible. It is kind of scrunched, but I can fit back here. It's not like I can't actually fit, but I couldn't sit like this. I can sit like that maybe, but then no one can sit in this middle seat here. But again, I'm 6'3". USB-C charge ports on both sides, as well as a storage and a bottle holder. And if you want to get to the front from here, you can click this button from the back, fold that seat into the floor. It just makes it a little easier to get in and out. Let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. Then over here, fuel filler. Excuse the glare. It's a little bright early this morning. New rear end, like that again. It kind of gives me the new 2024 Acadia vibes there with just how they did the tail lamps. Full LED. And I like the new exhaust tips as well. Very tasteful. Tow hitch is integrated there. Spare tires here. And then you also have that rear power lift gate that you can use when you have the key fob in your hand. You can just walk towards the back and it'll open without you having to touch a button. Top tethers for the car seats in the third row are there. We have another 3-prong plug-in. We can power fold the seats down in the second row, and then we can fold up and down the third row. So the seats do have to be up in the second row enough so that you can get the third row back. And then you have a little bit of storage underneath there. But I mean, pretty good space. And then also just having the capability to fold down the third row just makes this very usable without having to go to the XL trim. But of course, that'll be available as well if you need that. So you can also use this to slide the seat forward and back. And then this here, hit that twice, hold it into the floor, and you can see with that down in that third row, tons and tons of space. Now, fuel economy numbers are going to be pretty similar to the outgoing model, as you can see there. And then here we have our front passenger seat, which is power with forward power lumbar as well. Glove compartment there, which is lockable. And then something neat that I discovered on this model is you are able to push this button and you have your storage up here, which is a pretty good size, I think. Coming back around to the front. Quick look in the engine bay. Again, we have that 6.2 liter V8, still no twin turbo V6 in the Yukon. So those of you that like having that naturally aspirated V8 as opposed to the V6 offered in the Expedition, there you have it. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat here. So leather wrap steering wheel, again, from the new Acadia Denali. That was kind of the first GMC SUV that you saw with the newer looking interiors. You have the shifter on the side there, but really like the steering wheel in this Denali here. There's the horn. Now over here to the new radio system. Pretty easy to navigate, and again, it's something that you have to get used to. You still have the Google Assistant system, so Google Maps and all of that. For audio, you do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth, and then you have the USB drive, Google News, Google Podcasts. You still get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility here, which is nice. Auto Park Assist, dual zone automatic climate controls, and you can control that from the screen here. You have, which I really like, is you can use the touchscreen down below or use this as a button up and down there to adjust temperature, fan speed, cut the whole system on or off. And then in your settings here, you do have teen driver, rear seat reminder, buckle to drive, so on and so forth. You can even adjust the power running boards if you so choose. And then something that I do really appreciate here is the vehicle status page. So I can have this really nice graphic here, and then when I push on something, I can see tire pressure there, pull that up, battery voltage, and then you can even go individually and see everything within each menu, which is, it's just really nice, I think. Now hit this here, this pulls up the Google system, so you have the audio here, Google Assistant, Google Maps, and that's a nice view, I like that. And down here, we can go to our controls. So I like this because it's a shortcut for all the stuff that you normally need. So your heads-up display you can adjust. The child locks are actually integrated in here, so you can electronically lock those rear doors. Add your universal home remote there because it's no longer in the mirror. And then blind zone, steering assist, you can turn that on or off. And then again, those power steps. This volume knob here is very nice. It's kind of addicting to use it. It's just so nice. Really like that. 3-stage heated cool front seats, of course. And then down here, wireless charging pad is in there, and I can push that open or shut. A USB-C, USB-A port, 2 bottle holders are there. We can stow that as well. And then center console cubby space, open that up. Pretty good amount of space there. And then up here we have our power lift gate. We can actually fold the 3rd row up and down here. And then this is all for our panoramic sunroof. So while that slides back, I'm gonna show you something cool. Hit this button. You have additional storage underneath. So you can push that back if you just wanna have the space, or hidden compartment right in there. And that's how you shut it. But there's that panoramic roof. One touch slide there. Takes it all the way back. And then you can do the same thing to shut it, but there's the 2nd row seats folded, 3rd row seat folded up. Vanity mirrors here. Now back to the steering wheel itself. We do have our wipers here, so we can adjust those. Rear fluid, and then front fluid there. High beams, we can toggle those and flash. And then this is one issue that I have with this new vehicle. We have the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which is nice. But then on either side, on the left side, you can adjust your track list, radio station presets. And on the right, you can adjust your volume up and down there. But the paddle shifter is so close, a lot of the times I don't know which one I'm hitting. So I'll hit the paddle shifter on accident when I'm trying to get the volume up. But just something I noticed. Now, we don't have Super Cruise in this particular model, but we do have the adaptive cruise, so we can turn that on or off there pretty easily. And then adjust the gap for that there, set the speed. Your low gear is here. So to put that in, I'll show you how to actually use a shifter now. Pull there for neutral, pull up for reverse, pull down for drive, and then when you're in drive, hit that L, and then you can use those paddle shifters to manually shift. Then you can hit the L again to go back into the regular drive mode, and then you just hit this button on the side for park. So you get used to it. I actually like it. I've really grown to love it. At first I wasn't feeling it because it just seemed kind of weird, but I like it now. Heated steering wheel toggle is there. Voice recognition. This pulls up your audio sources and you can use this to scroll through all of that. And then Bluetooth buttons are right there. And this also serves as a mute. But you can use this to go through your different gauge faces, which are pretty neat. So a few options there. And my favorite one is probably this one. It's more of a traditional look. You can see the time, the date, and all of that. Hazards are there. And then the heads-up display is right in there. But there's your push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. And now to the fun part. Let's go ahead and take this all new 2025 GMC Yukon Denali out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this new GMC Yukon Denali, a lot of things feel the same. Ride quality feels similar to what I'm used to in the outgoing Yukons. The sound from the engine is identical. And with the powertrain pretty much being the same, I expect that. But just the overall presence in the cabin, you can feel the updates. The screen being there and not kind of being smaller and horizontal there. I like the vertical screen. I like the new gauge cluster. And as much as I hate having to have a subscription for Google Maps, it is nice to be able to have that picture there without necessarily having to have the full-on subscription. Let's give it a pull here. She's still quick, still very quick. So I'm gonna put on the adaptive cruise here. And I wasn't even, what mode was I in? Yeah, I was in normal mode, so that was a very good pull. Now, sound acoustics in here are pretty good. I noticed that I took it through the car wash, and it was one of the quietest car washes I've ever experienced. But yeah, acoustics in here are very good. Ride quality, of course, is fantastic. And road noise, even with the 22s, is not noticeable unless you're really looking for it. But pretty easy to control. I like the steering. It's relatively crisp without being too stiff, if that makes sense. But yeah, that drive was very relaxing. I can see myself taking this out for a nice road trip. And then we do have auto stop here as well. So when I come to the stop here, the auto stop will come on. And there it is there. Now, this is a very early release, and I said that in the walk around portion. So not sure the exact price point here, but you could pretty much expect it to be mid 80s to 90. Especially with these first coming out, there won't be a lot of discounts on them. And I only say that because an Ultimate or something along those lines will be 6 figures. So this might be a little higher than 90, but it doesn't have Super Cruise. Again, it's not an Ultimate. Doesn't have the media system in the back, so it's expensive, but it's still not expensive. But I want to give one more huge thank you to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Yukon today. I'll leave a link below in the description. And again, if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to your area, just click on that second link down below. Takes a minute or less to fill out that information, and then I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on one of these Yukons. And really any other new vehicle you're looking for. But final thoughts on this. Very impressed. And you know, GMC, with this basically being the cheap Escalade, they came out with all the stops here, the newer screen, the newer gauge cluster, just the new steering wheel. The interior just reminds me of the outgoing Yukon. It almost reminisces on it, but you have so much new technology here, and the technology in the outgoing Yukon wasn't even that dated, but you'll be able to tell now between a 25 and a 24, because this is like night and day. Just having the new vertical screen, the new steering wheel, the push button, everything that comes with this updated interior. And again, the biggest issue for me is, and it's pretty much with all of these newer steering wheels, is just how close the volume buttons and the trackless buttons are to the paddle shifters. But other than that, I mean, I don't have any complaints about this. Other than, of course, the fuel economy. But if you're in the market for one of these, that's probably not even on your list of things to care about. But just a really impressive SUV inside and out. And we still have that great 6.2 liter V8 mated with that 10-speed. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this all new 2025 GMC Yukon Denali.